In a world where we're constantly connected, where updates, thoughts, and achievements are shared the moment they happen, discretion has quietly become a superpower. But here's the thing, being discreet doesn't mean being secretive or hiding in the shadows. It means being intentional. It means choosing what to reveal, when to reveal it, and who gets to know. When you learn to keep certain things to yourself, especially your goals, plans, and personal matters, you give yourself a powerful advantage. Why? Because while most people are broadcasting their every move, you're quietly building something strong behind the scenes. Let's dive into why keeping your master plan to yourself can be such a game changer. Think about how it feels when you come up with a brilliant idea. There's an adrenaline rush. You're excited. You want to tell someone. Maybe everyone. That reaction is totally natural. But if you blurt it out too soon, you run a serious risk. Sharing your vision too early is like pulling a cake out of the oven before it's ready, it collapses. Ideas are fragile when they're new. They need space to grow, evolve, and get stronger. Telling the world too soon can invite criticism, doubt, or, even worse, competition. People might copy you, outsmart you, or just quietly run with your idea before you've even gotten started. So instead, let it breathe. Let your idea grow in silence. Develop it. Refine it, and allow it to take shape in private, like a sculptor working on a masterpiece away from the crowd. When your results finally speak for themselves, they'll carry way more weight than any announcement ever could. Look at history, some of the greatest breakthroughs were unveiled without warning. The Wright brothers didn't go around announcing they were building a flying machine. They just did it. And when the world saw the results, it changed everything. The surprise made the moment even more powerful. That same principle applies today. When you keep your plans under wraps, you give yourself room to move without outside pressure or interference. You stay focused. You stay grounded. And when the time comes, your success tells the story better than words ever could. Now let's talk about your inner circle, your close friends, your family, your team. That space should be sacred. It's tempting to share every win, every loss, every emotion on social media. But not everything needs to be public. In fact, the most powerful parts of your life often gain more meaning when they stay private. When there's conflict in your circle, a disagreement, a tough conversation, it's easy to vent online or involve others who aren't part of the solution. But that only adds chaos. Keep those moments behind closed doors. Talk to people you trust. People who give you honest feedback without turning your struggles into gossip. Choose your circle carefully. Surround yourself with people who understand the value of privacy and know how to protect it. People who offer wisdom, not drama. Encouragement, not judgment. When everyone in your circle respects discretion, trust grows, and your collective success becomes stronger. Leaders especially need to master this balance. Think of someone you admire, someone who seems calm, composed, unshaken even in chaos. They probably don't share every personal detail with the world. That quiet strength inspires confidence. It builds respect. And it reminds others that not everything needs to be explained or displayed. Another powerful part of discretion is knowing how to delay gratification. Sure, it's fun to celebrate right away. You land a big opportunity, you finish a project, you get promoted, you want to share the news instantly. But sometimes the wisest move is to wait. Let the moment sink in, make sure everything is solid. Make sure it's not just a temporary win, but a long-term shift. Then, when you're ready, you can share from a place of calm confidence instead of excitement or ego. When you rush to announce something too soon, it can backfire. You might attract envy or doubt. Or people might expect more from you before you're truly ready. But when you let your results speak over time, when you prove your consistency, you build a reputation that can't be faked. Success is not just about hitting milestones, it's about mastery. It's not about how loud you are, it's about how good you are. That kind of quiet excellence draws the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy into your life. No showboating required, think about someone like a world-class athlete. They don't go around telling everyone how hard they're training. They show up. They compete. They win. Their silence before the event creates suspense. Their performance speaks volumes. That approach can work in any area of life, so here's a mindset shift: instead of using your accomplishments to impress others, use them to impress yourself. Focus on the craft. Get better. Get sharper. Let the outside world catch up to what you've been building when it's time, and let's not forget, true wealth isn't loud. It's easy to assume that wealth means flashy cars, giant homes, designer labels, and viral posts. But most people who actually have long-term wealth aren't broadcasting it, they're living quietly. They're choosing freedom over flash. They're not caught up in the cycle of appearances. And because they're not chasing outside validation, they're able to make smarter decisions, take bigger risks, and stay focused on what matters. True wealth means security. It means having options. It means waking up and doing what you love without worrying about showing it off to gain approval, and the secret to maintaining that kind of wealth: gratitude. When you appreciate what you have, you don't feel the pressure to flaunt it. You enjoy your wins quietly. You let them feed your soul, not your ego. This kind of discretion isn't just for billionaires. It works at any level. Maybe you get a new job, start a business, or hit a personal goal. You don't need to post about it the moment it happens. Let your energy, your growth, and your presence reflect the change. People will notice. And the ones who matter won't need a status update to recognize your success. Let's continue this conversation about discretion, because it doesn't stop with your personal wins or financial habits. It extends into how you navigate your professional life too. In today's digital world, it's easy to feel like you have to share every career move. A promotion, a new role, a big project, people rush to post it all online. Looking for likes and validation. But here's a little secret: the most successful professionals, they usually don't make a scene about their accomplishments. Instead, they let their results do the talking. Your reputation should be built on what you consistently deliver, not on how loudly you promote yourself. When you show up with excellence over and over again, people start to notice. Not because you told them, but because your work speaks for itself. Think of a respected entrepreneur, not the one always flaunting their success, but the one who stays grounded, stays focused, and lets their impact ripple quietly through their work. Their discretion becomes a statement in itself. It earns them trust. It builds respect. It shows they're in it for the long game, not just the spotlight. And that's the heart of this idea: discretion isn't just about what you hide, it's about what you choose to emphasize. It's about knowing when silence is stronger than words. So how do you develop that kind of presence? That calm confidence? That ability to move powerfully without making noise? Start by mastering nonverbal communication. Because here's the truth: you don't need to say everything out loud. Your body language, your tone, your posture, even your eye contact. All of that can speak volumes. Learning to control those subtle cues gives you an edge. In business meetings, negotiations, or even in everyday conversations, having a calm, composed presence can keep you in control. You don't give too much away. You don't get thrown off easily. You become harder to read, and harder to manipulate. Imagine you're in a tense situation. Maybe you're being challenged or tested. If you can maintain your composure, no visible frustration, no panic, no emotional outbursts, you instantly command more authority. You show people you're not easily shaken. And that's powerful. In fact, keeping a poker face in high-pressure situations can be one of your greatest assets. It's not about hiding your emotions in a cold or robotic way. It's about managing your responses so you stay centered, no matter what's going on around you. Another underrated skill: listening. The more you listen, the more you learn. While everyone else is busy talking, trying to prove themselves or be heard, you're absorbing valuable information. You're watching, noticing, paying attention. And that gives you insight. When you listen more than you speak, you become more strategic. You understand people better. You know what makes them tick, what motivates them, where they're vulnerable. That's not manipulation, it's awareness. It's knowing how to move smartly through the world. Now, that doesn't mean you stay silent all the time. When you do speak, make it count. Choose your words carefully. Speak with purpose, not just to fill the silence. And when you do share something important, people will lean in, because they know you're not someone who talks just to talk. Words carry more weight when they're used intentionally. This idea of less is more can feel counterintuitive, especially in an age of constant updates and instant communication. But discretion is about knowing the value of timing, tone, and intention. It's about understanding that not everything deserves to be broadcast, and here's another angle to consider: confidence. When you're truly confident, you don't need to explain yourself constantly. You don't need to post every move or prove your worth through announcements. You trust your process. You know who you are. You know what you're building, that quiet self-assurance. It's magnetic. People are drawn to those who move with purpose and poise. It creates a kind of mystery, an energy that makes others curious. They want to know what you're working on, what you're planning. But you don't have to tell them. You let the results speak when it's time, and when you carry yourself with that kind of energy, people respect your boundaries. They recognize you're intentional about what you share. You're not hiding, you're being selective. You're protecting your peace, your focus, and your goals. So let's pause and reflect for a moment. Discretion isn't about being cold, secretive, or distant. It's about strategy. It's about choosing when to shine and when to step back. When to speak and when to listen. When to reveal, and when to simply work in silence. It's also about adaptability. Discretion isn't one size fits all. It's fluid. It shifts depending on the context and the people you're dealing with. With close friends or trusted collaborators, you might be more open, more expressive. In a boardroom or public setting, you might choose a more measured, composed approach. Learning when and how to adjust your level of openness is part of emotional intelligence. It's how you stay in control of your narrative. Not everything is for everyone. Sometimes, your intuition will be your best guide. Maybe you're in a room and get a strange feeling about someone, a sense that you shouldn't share too much. Trust that. Those subtle red flags, those gut instincts. They're often trying to protect you. You don't need to explain your silence. Just honor it. And when people ask invasive or unnecessary questions, you don't have to answer directly. Learn the art of polite deflection. You can hold your boundaries without being rude. Something as simple as, "That's still in progress, but I'm excited," or "I'll share more when the time is right," is enough. You're not obligated to hand over every detail of your life just because someone asks. Protect your energy. Protect your ideas. Protect your peace, because at the end of the day, discretion allows you to move through life with more freedom and more control. It keeps your focus sharp. Your relationships grounded. Your work intentional, and perhaps most importantly, it keeps you rooted in purpose, not performance.